a little bit about yourself and how you became a librarian. I think that's an interesting question.
At first I was trying to be a primary school teacher, just because I have the passion to be teaching the learners, and I found the work of a teacher as something so great to keep on working with people's minds, So as I was trying to be a teacher, then I was interested to become a librarian, because it was one of the things which I discovered that if I would be a librarian, then I would be able to transform the learners in an easier way to understand what I would be teaching. And then I was interested in the library part now.
Yeah, so you saw the learners get excited about books in a certain way. Any stories that kind of come to mind? Any kids that really stand out in your memory?
Yeah. On the side, what happened was during some of the teaching and learning periods, when it's like I was reading one of the stories from the textbooks, the learners were paying much more attention to understand. Then I knew that there is a need to do something with the learners to make sure that they are now developing this reading culture, because they were so interested in that side.
Yeah.
So I decided to become a librarian in such a way.
Yeah. So you were really tapping into their imagination and capturing their attention.
Sure.
Was it different, in the library with a book? Was that different than just lecturing out of, the normal class material? Or how did you see the kids responding differently to the storytelling like you've talked about?
Yeah, with the storytelling, there was much more attention and the learners liked it. And with that one, I can say that it facilitated learning in such a way that it made the learners to be inquisitive to learn.
Yeah.
And their absenteeism was minimized in such a way that they were eager to learn more and more stories.
Yeah.
Sure. So, yeah, that's about that.
Yeah. So in the evolution of your teaching style, when I've seen you get up in front of these kids, you immediately capture their attention with not an authoritative perspective, but a very enthusiastic one. How did that evolve? How did you come to that? Was that part of the result of your training here at DAP, or?
That one can be an inborn.
It's inborn, yeah. That makes sense, having gotten to know you.
Yeah, that is an inborn ability, because we are all different.
Yeah.
In such a way that we are trying to be teachers, and others are going to be teachers. Who knows? What was remaining is to get the theoretical stuff to implement, and then see themselves excelling. That is to say, you can go in a classroom and then you see that the teaching style I will take will be different, and then you see the other teacher, the teaching style she or he will take will be different, and the way how we capture the attention of the learners is so different.
Yes.
You see, what matters most is the approach, the way how the learners, the way how the teacher himself or themselves, the teachers, approach the learners. Learners are are people who usually pay much more attention to what the teacher is saying, especially when they feel that this one is really have a feeling to deliver something to us.
Yeah. So if you think about AOP for a minute, in terms of what AOP has brought to so many schools by bringing libraries, are there any highlights that stand out in your mind?
Yes, there are some highlights, very, very important highlights, in such a way that looking at the primary school situation whereby there are no books, and it tends to be a difficult thing. So with ALP, an entry point was made whereby we discovered that with the books, the learners started performing well, not only in class as well as in terms of critical thinking, because the books are of different levels and are having different fun games and logical thinking. That is, critical thinking is being applied, and through the use of those books, we have seen that many learners have achieved something. That is to say, there are some remarkable areas which we are able to see. For instance, in some of the primary schools, we are having some problems for learners to be selected to go to government secondary school. That's national level.
Mm-hmm.
But now there are a number of schools where having some learners who have gone to attend the national secondary school course as for the first time for them to be selected on national level.
Okay.
That is, they were those people who have been frequently using the libraries. You see?
Mhm.
So we can say that these books have now bringing an impact to the communities, whereby they are now getting some new knowledge to the learners. That is that about the usefulness of the books.
So if you think into the future, what sort of things would you like to see ALP achieve, or what things can ALP, working in partnership with DAP, achieve? Do you think, looking several years down the road, not just the number of libraries, but sort of like, the vision for the impact of ALP?
Yeah, there are so many things we can be implemented, especially with ALP, in partnership with DAP. Because we, as DAP here, we have been moving out, especially to see the libraries. We don't take that for granted because we know we have lots of things, and then we do this on a voluntary basis, yeah? So, I can say that if there will be an intervention of ALP as well, in following up each and every single step we are taking to assist, then everything will be achieved. That is to say, we will have a common goal of making all the libraries working effectively and making sure that the learners are excelling, especially the ones who are using the library in the communities. Because if we say that if the learners are educated, then the near future generation will be also educated in such a way that they will gain some new knowledge from the libraries. There are so many ways we learn things.
Yes.
And one of these ways is through books. You see? And the books, as we know, are in different categories. If I read a book about how to make something, then I understand that one. I can implement it. And in such a way, I can save some people's lives just because I get the knowledge from the book.
Yes.
So can you imagine if there are 10 people who can do that, and then those 10 teach the other 10, you see that more and more will be what? Learning some new skills.
Yeah.
So through the libraries, lives of people can be changed. That is what we say, changing lives of people book by
Book.
book.
Yes. Nicely done. So, if you could say anything to future book drive organizers, what would you say in America?
Yeah,
Talk to them.
My word to the new book drive is that there is a lot for them to do. They need to have a time to think on themselves if they have ever realized if they can change the life of human being in such a way of donating books, or they are trying to make sure that they create a library in Africa. That is to say, it's a welcome idea, and they are supposed to be part and parcel of changing the world, turning it to be a reading world, that is especially Africa, where we're having some problems with books. Here, especially in Africa, it's expensive to buy books. So, it's a welcome idea, and they have to be part and parcel of changing the lives of people here in Africa, and all in all, it begins by
one book at a time.
Sure, it will be done.
Yeah.
And the libraries will be excelling, and people will be learning new things. All in all, it begins by them, or you, to be part and parcel.
Yes.
These lives will be changed at one point in time, and then people will appreciate. You will never be forgotten. Try to do it.
Yes.
Sure.
So it makes a major impact on the country of Malawi.
Yeah, especially, that is to say, our vernacular language will be just the one to be used at home, but everyone will be able to speak English.
Yes. Well, thank you, Patrick, and it's been great spending the week with you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Don't take this for granted. We wish you to be here more and more.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're most welcome to come again.
Thanks, Patrick.